Everyone, my name is Lela Christine. My host, Moshi Lewis, live Power Player Lifestyle, and our conversation is Power Pod Talks. We have an amazing, I'm talking about, she's vibrant today, very vibrant. And
Love it.
this beautiful lady, you know her, you've seen her over the years. And when you meet her, you think about everything good. Everything good. And her name is Kathleen Bradley. Welcome to Power Pot Talks.
Thank you. It's my pleasure to be here. I'm
Yes,
very happy to be here. Of
yes.
course, you threatened me if I didn't come.
I know. You better show up. Show up for us. Show up for all the power players.
You didn't have to twist my arm too much because I love and respect you and all that
Thank
you
you.
do and you've accomplished
Thank
as an
you.
entrepreneur, as a businesswoman, and everything. So I really appreciate all that you do.
I'm so humbled. I'm like, I
Yes, you are.
appreciate you.
You know
So you
it.
look amazing. So
you.
thank you. Thank you for being here. So I'm going to let Moshi just have a little fun. And we're
Sure.
gonna
Well,
do
I'm
it
the
later.
luckiest one. I mean, I'm here with two beautiful women. It's Women's International Month and
That's
things like
right.
that.
That's
so
right.
Yes.
We're going to make some history today.
Yeah, we're going to make some history.
Let's put it down.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I always like to go back, and I love starting to talk about your musical background because it just amazes me. How did you get started with that?
Well, actually, when I was a young child, at like 7 years old, I lived in Ohio, a little
Right.
small town called Girard,
Mm.
and I listened to music and I've watched TVs but TV just came out, but theater
Right.
and different things of that nature. But I always liked to sing. My mother actually had a very nice voice,
Mhm,
and she would always go around singing. And I just listened to the radio, and of course, around that time or a little later were some people that I could relate to, like the Supremes, Martha Reeves, the Vandellas,
Yes.
and Smokey, and all that Motown
Yes.
era was
Mhm.
arriving, and
Yeah.
that kind of movement stuck in my head. But when I came to Los Angeles, I had other ideas of grandeur, and that was
Mhm.
basically getting into the modeling,
Right.
acting career, not so much the singing. And of course, I was in the competition shows at home before I left Ohio, but I got here in the early 70s. And I was kind of, I won't say discovered, but a guy by the name of John Daniels,
Right.
entrepreneur. I
Mhm.
won't call him a guy because he's a wonderful person. He
Mhm.
really is. I have to attribute most of my success in my life to John Daniels and Mavericks Flat.
Yes.
And Mavericks
Yes.
Flat
That goes way back.
actually was, the West Coast Apollo
Mhm,
Theater,
mhm.
because a lot of the celebrities and different artists and people came there to rehearse, practice. The Temptations, the OJ, Shaka
Wow.
Khan.
Yes.
Oh my God, you name it, do it. Howard Hewitt,
Right.
Shalimar. I can go on and on. Jeffrey Osborne, all of those guys. Lakeside. Oh my God, we had the best time
Sure.
back then. Was
Oh, it's
wonderful,
amazing.
absolutely best time. And John Daniels had the pageant called the Miss Black California pageant
Okay.
that he had the chapter there, and I happened to end up winning in 1971. And John had always aspired to have a female group together. So some of the girls that were in the pageant that he knew could sing and perform, aside from myself and some of the other ladies that used to come to the club, he put us together, which
Right.
called the 7 females were called the Love
I love that.
Machine.
Love
I love
Machine.
Singing and dancing. We traveled all over Europe. The
Yes.
very first place we ever performed at was at Saint-Tropez.
Right.
Really?
Wow.
Can you imagine? Everybody was
Amazing.
dying
First
trying to get
performance.
to Saint-Tropez, France
Yes.
now.
Sure,
We were so
yes.
young, like 1920.
Sure.
It was really literally foreign to us
Right.
when we got
Truly.
there, and
Right.
all the landing in Paris and getting from the Paris to the train. And it was schlepping, getting all of our bags and everything, and then landing in, I think we were either in Cannes or Nice
Right.
to get to Saint-Tropez and taking the bus. Everybody going down there, and in this little alley and these places we had to stay. There were like 2 or 3 of us in a room, and the bathroom down the hallway.
Oh
We're
my
like,
God.
what the hell?
They sent us all the way here to go back.
This all
We're
about
trying to go
like,
up, not down.
really? Okay.
What is this place?
But it worked out. We played in one of the finest, best places there. It's called Hotel Biblos, which is still around. It was called Club, the the Biblos Hotel and Club. I can't even think of the name of it, but anyway, it was a really wonderful club there. All the rich people came there, and they loved us.
Yes.
As a result, we ended up going back and forth to Europe, and there for many, many years. I was in
That's
the singing
beautiful.
group. It was very wonderful traveling and just having a great time and a great experience in
Yes.
Europe.
Right.
Yeah, that's
We had
the
an
best.
8-piece band.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Can you
And
imagine?
it was a good group. I mean, you all
Right.
had some good songs.
And when
really
I
liked
think
them.
about it, John, he pulled off incredible feats
Right.
just getting us to these places.
Right.
We had a great road manager, Tony Lido,
Right.
and Tony was with one of John's other groups from Mavericks called the Seven Souls, but he took us all around, and it was just amazing.
Right.
I can't wait to get back to Europe. I
Sure.
want to take my husband. I haven't been
Right.
in quite some time, but just to go back
Right.
and revisit. I mean, we went to Italy, Germany, Spain, Belgium, Sweden, Switzerland, Africa, Asia. Paris was our second home.
You have been
I
a
love
world
it.
travel.
Oh my God! Yes,
woman.
I feel wonderful.
And you also had a song from Smokey, if I'm not mistaken, and then
No,
it kind of
well-
went to
Oh,
the
we love
group.
Smokey Robinson.
No,
that's for
actually,
sure.
what
happened?
happened was
What had happened was almost.
we were with Motown. Actually, we
Right.
signed with Motown, and the Miracles. Billy Griffin had just taken over for Smokey Robinson with the
Really?
Miracles when
Yes.
Smokey left, and they loved the Love Machine. Oh my God, we worked with Hal Davis, we worked with Norman Whitfield,
Right, wow.
Stevie Wonder. We recorded with him,
Right.
and so the Miracles loved us, and they knew all about us and our energy, and they knew John and what have you, and they wrote the song for us,
Mm-hmm.
about us,
Right.
and they presented it to. Now I've heard a couple of different stories, but I think presented it to Barry or either Suzanne DePass.
Yes.
And when Barry heard it, he's like, "That song is too good. You guys are gonna sing that song."
Mhm.
And Billy
Right.
was like, "No, man, that's for the girls, you know."
Right.
And Barry's like, "Well, the girls are kind of fading out of the realm of what's happening with the group in the Motown. You guys need that song. That's your hit."
Right.
Literally, the
was.
rest is history. It was
Right.
their hit. Don't you
Good.
know that to this day, every time I hear it, we cringe.
I can imagine.
Wow.
I mean, I don't care if we could have been a one-hit wonder from
Sure,
that
you would've
song. It's
taken it.
such a magnificent song
It was.
for us, about us.
Right. Right.
I
And I
mean,
should say the Love Machine.
Yeah,
just so we're
and I
clear.
won't work
Does
for
that verse
nobody
have
but
it?
you. That was for about John. I'm just a love machine, a hug and kiss and thing.
That's
But
like-
we'd always do it on our show, obviously. That
right.
became one of our signature songs. But yep.
Wow. And then as we pivot and we go into TV and film, The Price is Right. How did you get there?
Well, The Price is Right actually came at a really interesting time in my life. I had kind of just gotten married in 88.
Okay.
I had a son in 89.
All right.
And it was like in latter part of 89. Well, my son, actually 90, that my manager, agent, Judith Fontaine, called me and she said, Kathleen. She said, they're looking for a beautiful Black woman to go on The Price is Right.
Yes.
There were already 3 existing models on the show. You know, they
Okay.
had been there forever. And I had actually seen, watched The Price is Right all the time. I kind of really claimed and prayed for and aspired to do something like that
Right.
because being in the industry and acting and modeling and singing and all of that and having a family, I swear to God, I prayed. I said, Lord, I want a nice little job position after I've had my son. I don't want to work every day. Give me something maybe 3-6 hours a day.
Make it easy.
I don't want to have to learn any dialogue
Exactly
and go
right.
through a
Keep
lot
it
of hoops and jump.
straightforward.
And lo and behold, that opportunity came. And I had just had my son 3 months after that.
Wow.
All
But I
right.
was in shape because, in this business, your body and your face are your
Yes.
passport.
Everything.
If you're not prepared, you can miss the opportunity just like that, just
Wow.
because you weren't prepared. So I pretty much worked out, and I had just a little bit of baby fat. But after 3 months, I went on the audition. And they wanted us to wear a swimsuit. Had my tightest, blackest bathing suit I could find, right? and I did that, and they liked me and invited me back to do a couple of shows on air. Of course, they saw about 200, 300 other models and things of that nature. But I attribute this once again to having been with the Love Machine, John Daniels, because Diane, Holly, and Janice, they're pretty much my age. And they had a couple of other very young models and girls trying out. They were a little green under the thumb, a little naive. I just felt very confident
Right.
knowing I was a world traveler and I was able to communicate and talk to those girls like Hey,
Right.
I've been there, did this, done that. At some point, I found out I was a little bit too braggadocious.
Okay.
I had to
Reel it back in.
like,
Don't
back
share too
up,
much.
sister-in-law. My sister-in-law actually worked for Mark Goodson Productions, Don
Mhm.
Howard,
Mm.
at the time, and she was kind of reporting, say, Kathleen, well, be a little more humble.
Right.
I'm like, okay, because I'm like,
Okay.
I got this. Hey,
Listen,
fine. Yeah, I've
let's
been
check
in
on you.
Paris, I've been to Europe. Hi, Diane, Jensen, Holly. But, it worked out.
Right.
And I finally got the job, and I was there 10 years,
Wow.
Mhm.
from 1990 to 2000.
I watched you. I was
Yeah.
just like, oh my God, I love
Yeah.
her.
As a matter of fact, I wrote a book,
Yes.
Oh my God.
and it's called
Backstage.
Backstage at the Price is Right.
Mhm.
Okay, I gotta read
Memoirs of
The
a Barker
Barker Beauty.
Beauty.
Oh, I love that.
Yes, and
Yes.
this is for you,
Thank
Lela.
you.
And I will give it to you and sign it afterwards. I
Yes.
actually wrote this book. It came out in 2014.
Mhm.
But books are current. I mean, they stay relevant.
They
I
do.
mean to say relevant if they're important. And this was important to me because actually, Janice and I were both terminated. They won't say we were terminated. They said we were let go because they were changing the format.
Oh,
Fremantle came in and CBS, and it was kind of a really messy situation how we
Right.
were let go.
Right.
And Janice had been there 29 years.
Wow.
I was there 10.
Right.
How do you, especially for her, I felt bad for her because how do you let somebody go after 29 years, no goodbye,
Right.
no
Wow.
watch, no
Wow.
party, no
10?
sayonara, because
Right.
the people there, the crew and the cast and
They
a
were
production company, they're
family.
Right.
family.
Yeah, all the
Yes.
time.
I couldn't believe it when we got
Sure.
let go and I went home. I cried my eyeballs out so
Oh my
hard
God.
in the parking lot at CBS. I couldn't
Wow.
even leave the parking lot. It
Right,
took me
sure.
15 minutes
Wow.
to try to get over, and then I was driving in the car.
Wow.
I straightened up and started doing that ugly cry again. If anybody
Oh
had
my
looked over
God.
at
Nothing
me,
like the ugly
they would
cry,
have
right?
thought, "Oh, what's wrong with this lady? Oh my
Pain and
God!"
passion was in
It
every
hurt
moment.
so badly, but we settled out of
Mhm.
court because it
Right.
wasn't done properly.
Right.
And I had to sign an NDA, prohibiting me to say or talk about it for several years.
Right.
But it was still stewing inside of me, and
Right.
the
Of
anger and
course.
all the resentment. And
Right.
but I do believe once when the one door
Mhm.
opens and the closes, one opens. And
Yes.
a couple of the little good things that happened to me over a period of time. But I took a little time off to take care of my mom. She was convalescing, and I did take care of her before I got back in the business. But all along, I wanted to tell my story.
Right.
It's not my biography by any
Right.
means, but it
Right.
encompasses the 10 years
Right.
that I was on The Price is Right. And a lot
Okay.
of things that went on behind the
Sure,
stage,
sure,
and some
sure.
good juicy
Some things.
things.
Some
And
things that we
how
just
people
don't
were
know about.
treated.
Sure.
And there was a lot of
funny.
dissension back sometimes, and a lot
Mhm.
of people, only very few black, the diversity wasn't like it should have been,
Right.
especially in the crew and what have you.
Right.
But that's one of the reasons I was hired
Mhm.
Right.
in 1990, because they
Travel.
needed more diversity on
Yes.
CBS daytime television shows.
Right.
That's when
course.
all of the Young and the Restless and the Bold and the Beautiful and everybody, Victoria Raoul started
Right.
then, and
Wow.
what's his name?
Obaba and Tunde.
No, not Oba.
No,
He
no,
wasn't.
not Oba.
I'm thinking of oh my God, SWAT. My fine SWAT guy.
Oh my God.
Oh, it's
I
gonna
guess-
hit me. Come on, I love it. Shamar Moore.
Oh, Shamar.
Oh
Okay,
my,
yes.
Shamar. He's such a flirt. I
Shamar,
used to
okay.
love, and St. John was there.
Yeah.
A boy who, he died, but a lot of the people I met would see them going down the hallways and the commissary and
Right.
everything, and I go over next door to find out, see what the newest, latest things going on with
Right.
with the prices. I mean, the
For
Bold
sure.
and the Beautiful,
Yeah.
because we actually were able to see it in our dressing rooms
I love
with the
it.
monitor up there.
Right,
We'd
that's
see
right.
it in real time as they
Right,
were
taping.
taping on
Right.
if we went to the
Wow.
right
The feed, right.
feed, right?
Yes. Yes.
So I was like way ahead of everybody else.
Just-
To go and tell my
paying
mother,
attention.
my
I'm
brother,
watching
like,
what they're
let
doing.
me
What's
tell you
going
what
on?
happened to Miss Chancellor today.
I'm watching what they're
I
doing.
love it. I love it.
And speaking about an amazing opportunity that came out of it was a young man that happened to be watching you on that show and wanted you to be in his
Oh,
movie.
Right. Yep. Yeah, that would be Ice Cube.
Mhm.
So they were doing Friday. My agent actually called me and said, Kathleen, you're supposed to go on an interview. They're doing this movie, and can you make it? Because actually, with The Price is Right, I was still on The Price is Right at the
Oh, okay.
time, and we would tape 3 shows a day,
Wow.
tape 3 days a week, and
Mhm.
we were off a week.
Right.
Can you imagine only
That's
working
nice.
9 days a week?
Right.
But we put the time in.
Right.
So it was really frowned upon with us to even try to work and
Right,
do
something
other
else.
shows or
Sure.
movies,
Right.
which you would think at that point there were enough models that we could take over for
Cover.
each other and
Sure.
do the showcases and different things, but they were like really not, which was
Exclusive.
kind of crazy, yeah.
Sure.
So, but I snuck out and went on that interview. I think it was lunchtime or something, or either I said I was sick or I'll be there later or whatever. I wasn't going to miss that when I found out a little bit about it.
Right.
So, of course, Ice Cube was there, and they, I had little sides and everything, and I just, I nailed it. Well, it wasn't
Yes, of
obviously
course.
much to say. Hello, hi, boys. Hey, But to come to find out, Ice Cube, he did ask for me. He says, I want that black lady on The Price is Right. I didn't have a name then. I was the
Right, the
black
black
lady
lady.
on The Price is Right.
I love
Which is
it.
okay with me because
Sure.
I'd go in the grocery store and walking around
Right.
and different things.
Be
And
yourself.
people say, ain't you that black lady on The Price is Right? I said, yeah, that's me. I'm the black lady on The Price is Right.
Sure.
So it worked out, obviously.
Wow.
And, that whole cast and
Mhm.
what have you for Friday became such a phenomena and iconic movie. Who
Yes.
would have thought?
Who would have thought?
Oh my God. It was just incredible to be a part of that and all that it has really done for everybody that was on that in the movie and gone
Right.
on to greater fame for the most part.
Definitely. Okay, so I know I've been seeing you on TV in some of these TV series. I tune into Amazon Prime and I was like, oh my God, Kathleen is here. She's here. Tell us about some of the shows that you actually have been starring in the past 2 years or so.
Well, okay, let me start with a day of trouble. That was a
Mm.
movie,
Yes.
and that was directed by Mark Casey.
Okay.
And he starred in it as well. I did that with Thais Walsh and
Mhm.
Hawthorne James.
Mhm.
And it
Right.
was really a good movie. It was really pretty well done, I must say. And that I did. I was the mother to to Mark Casey, actually. And it told a pretty good story at the end of the day.
Mhm.
It had a good essence to it and moved pretty well.
Right.
I did that, and then I did a series, A House Divided.
Yes, I
Yes.
like
Right,
that.
right,
I
right.
like
Yeah.
that
Actually,
show,
I
House
started
Divided.
out the very first season, the very first episode,
Wow.
Right.
and I was the matriarch of the family.
Yes.
Yes.
And this young lady, Demetria McKinney,
Mm-hmm.
bitch. Not for real, Demetria. In the movie.
Sure, in the
Yes,
show,
yes,
She knows.
exactly.
yes.
She was seeing my husband. We were
Right.
wealthy people. I mean,
Yes,
multi-hundred
prestigiously
millions
wealthy.
of dollars. We lived at this beautiful place. Oh my God, where we shot actually in Malibu. It was like an $80 million home.
I love
Wow.
it.
my
You
gosh.
can see forever, and that was our home.
Right.
And this young lady, she just went into the bank and swept my husband off his feet. I knew and heard about it. I invited her over to the house. I said, and I let the staff off for the day. And I said, if you're going to come, I like steak. Let's have something. Well, you like steak. I cooked, and we were sitting at the table having our dialogue and everything. I told her, I know about you. I know about people like you, and good. So she says, oh, you have a beautiful home.
Right.
She's looking around. She said, especially your bedroom. I went, I started choking.
Yes, I remember that.
I started
scene.
choking.
yes.
Most people
Wow.
have already seen it now,
Of
and
course,
so it's
yes.
not
Right.
a
Reveal.
spoiler alert. But
Right.
I ended up dying.
Right.
Oh.
She would not even give me water. I'm like, trying to reach for the water. She's sitting there looking. That was her opportunity.
Mm.
Right.
Right.
So I did that episode, and the whole basis of the show was based around
That's
who did
right.
it, who killed me, and then it
Right.
led to other things. Lawrence Hilton Jacobs was my
Yeah.
husband, wonderful, Paula
Right.
J. Parker. There's so many wonderful people and actors in that
Right.
series,
Right.
Yes.
and it has gone on. This five seasons
know.
now.
Yeah, it's a fifth.
They
yeah.
did call me back.
Yes.
They called me back. So I was a apparition.
Okay.
I came back to haunt some people.
Right.
Done
Okay.
you wrong.
I did a scene with Lisa Ray McCoy,
Yeah.
because she ended up being with my husband. Larry had gone through a few women since I
Yes.
died. But I did that, and I'm in 2 more episodes of that one, and they're both in season 5.
Right.
So you can watch that. So I
Yes.
was a part of that show.
I've seen season 5. I love all
You
of it.
did see that.
I just think that they should have had you stay,
Exactly.
maybe undercover. Perhaps you really didn't die, and they just bring you back.
Well, they had the funeral and everything, so
know.
it couldn't have been that undercover. But, you know, one
Yes.
thing leads to another, and hopefully, you know, some people, the right people are looking at it, watching it,
Yes.
and will have me for something else. You know,
Yes.
that's how it happens. A roll
That's
ball,
how it
snowballs,
happens.
roll balls, snowballs.
Hologram, maybe.
yeah, hologram.
What are some of the pearls of wisdom that you would give to somebody young starting out in the business? Because you've gone through these phases of your career where you've really achieved great success and continue to be just as vibrant and just as lovely and down to earth, literally and figuratively. And that seems to be a challenge, to say the least, when you're pulled in so many different directions over a course of, years.
That is very true, you know, because I'm so grounded, me personally, because of my upbringing and having been raised in a little small town in Girard, Ohio.
Right.
And, you know, I couldn't wait to get out.
Sure.
But, you know, I always reflect on my wonderful mother and my dad. He was a hard worker. He worked at the steel mills. And I had 4 brothers, but we were such a family, close-knit family. And neighbors surrounding that. And my
Right.
other relatives, my Aunt Marguerite and Aunt Betty, Uncle Howard, Uncle Paul, and everybody, you know. So it really helped ground me. And when I came out to California, I just really brought a lot of that with me and never got the big head about other things that I was doing because, you know, what is given should be taken away just as soon as you get it. You better be careful.
Right.
But for people and young starlets, guys and girls coming out here or even in the business, and I know it's been said so many times that, you know, first of all, kind of recognize and know what you want. If you really want to be in this business, it is not as easy as you think or as hard as you think. It can be what you make it. You need to study. You can go online and take some courses and, you know, do some workshops and really look into the business because it's feast or famine. But perseverance is great. Perseverance is great. You got to persevere. There's a thin line between somebody bugging you to death and being persistence and perseverance. But you have to keep going if you believe it. And sometimes that no, saying no, is the best thing you could hear. Because if you don't believe that no is true, you're going to make it and change it around into a yes. Yes, I can. Prove people wrong.
Right.
But you better have some talent to back it up.
better have
Because
that
if you
talent.
suck, you ain't going to. I mean, really, in
It's true.
reality, you know, but take some courses and classes and get some critiques, some really good critiques from people who have of the profession. Maybe not from your friends and stuff if you're doing some reading and different things of that nature. And, you know, there are several casting sites that people can get on of all ages, colors, creed, everything. Because believe it or not, the casting directors are looking for you as much as you are looking to get into a movie. You know, they have the LA Casting Now, Casting Network, Frontier Casting, Actors Access. All of these, you can go online and join, put in your profile, your photos. You don't have to have an agent, which is good. You can freelance and do your own thing and submit yourself because you'll be in a certain category. And then when the casting comes up, it falls into the algorithm and they'll send you a notice, say, hey, you're perfect for this part. And would you like to audition for it? Or hopefully you can get in to do the audition, home auditioning. Now, since the pandemic, you know, self-auditioning tape has become the thing, which at first was kind of strange and weird and stuff. And you have to set your background up and get your little camera ready and your lighting. And they're making it so much easier now and accessible just to submit yourself from home, do the do the profile, do your name, and then read. You can read the lines and put up something in front of you so you don't have to memorize
Technology is
them.
amazing.
And I love it. I hate auditioning. I'm really not that good at auditioning people, but at home, you can take a couple of takes and send the best one in. You could critique yourself and run it back. As when you go in for a real one-on-one audition, you don't have that privilege at that time to do that.
One shot,
make it or break it.
and
One
there
shot
you go.
Yeah, sometimes the casting people will work with you, say, hey, bring it down a little bit, try it again. They'll give you a few different tries to go at it. So, even get in front of the mirror and practice your lines, look at yourself. But not even that, now that we have technology with the, cameras on your phone.
That's right.
Sure.
Tape
On your
yourself.
desktop,
Yeah, on your
laptop.
desktop. Tape
Right.
yourself
Yes.
and look back at yourself. See what you see how you like it. And the main thing is to be believable.
That's right.
Believable. If you don't believe yourself and you're in that character, you can critique it as much as you want for certain little idiosyncrasies or different things, but if you don't believe that you're little Miss Mary Ann from the liquor store and you went in there and you're getting ready to kill somebody, or you like you're the president of the United States and you're very astute and you're looking at somebody delivering those lines, and if you look at it and see it, because usually we're our hardest critics.
We are.
And if you don't believe it, nobody's going to believe you.
That's
They
right.
got to believe you. So be believable and be natural for the most part.
See, this is great advice.
You have
This
to
is a
be
great
natural,
lesson,
but
especially
then-
for those who
Yeah,
are
be natural, but
coming up in the business.
you have to be diverse and be able to change up if they tell you, hey, switch, do it
Yes.
crying.
Sure.
Be happy with it. Say the same lines. Be energetic. Be a little more low key with the same lines, same atmosphere,
Right.
same thing. But, you have to be able to learn how to snap it on and off and do it.
Right. I love it. I mean, that's just like the best advice as we close out. I'm just like, thank you. Thank you. We appreciate you. So here's something in relationship to most women want to know, and men and people in general. How do you keep yourself so beautiful Monday through Sunday? What is your health regimen? How do you?
Oh, boy.
I'm gonna take some notes.
Yes, we're taking notes.
Well, you know what? I drink a lot of water.
Okay.
I do. And I drink my wine. I'll have my little cocktails every now and then.
Okay.
Not a lot, but stay moisturized. Moisturize and hydration is so important
I
for
agree.
your skin, for your mind, for your whole body. So that is those are some of the things I do, and I use kind of different products.
Right.
I'm given so many products sometimes when I do these golf tournaments, or if I do the walk the red carpet at some events, and I've tried so much.
Right.
I believe there's a thing called skin. What's it called? Not diffusion, or where you use a couple of different things and not the same thing.
Right.
And they say sometimes some things are used for maybe 4 or 5 months. It might start working and then it might settle in. You want to confuse your skin or your
Okay.
tone and try something a little different.
Right.
And then let that set in and do different products. I'm using Olay right now, and I do like it. I think
Olay
it's
is
really
safe.
good. Yeah, Olay is good. And, eyes are usually the worst things to go. And, I've had a few little Botox and stuff here and there, but nothing now. I'm like,
You need to do a commercial on Olay. We need to.
I
say
should.
hello.
And what really teased
Yes,
me off when they have some of these commercials and these younger girls under 40, 50, even under 50.
Yes.
Show me why their skin looks so doggone great. Of course, because your ass is 50. Hello. Come on, show me somebody 60, 70 years
That's
old,
right.
I like
80.
that, sure.
That's
They
right.
have them every now and
That's
then.
right, but not
some
enough.
like,
It's called
I
ageism, so
did.
we gotta knock
Right.
that.
Yeah,
Exactly.
and
out.
even some of these young
Yes.
artists, singers and young people, rappers and ladies and stuff that do and show their little Instagram. So I'm using so-and-so right now, and I'm putting a
Right.
You look great
girl, you're only
anyway.
35.
You're
you know what I
You still have
25,
natural
right?
beauty
Hello.
so much. Right.
At 25, we're just like, oh my God, our skin.
But
is
stay
amazing.
moisturized and
Yes,
drink a lot of
yes,
water
yes.
and spritz your face with some moisturizer. And of course, use sunscreen every time, every chance you get, do that.
Right. Yes. And I appreciate you because we always want to know the health side with
it.
all of the amazing Power Player Lifestyle guests because people want to know, how does she do it?
And you
Yeah,
know
that's
what?
amazing.
My attitude is always so
I
upbeat.
agree.
Attitude.
It really
That's
is.
important.
Attitude is really essential for your overall health. I rarely, ever, hardly, ever get sick.
Yeah.
Really, I don't. And my family as well, because there are a lot of good things you can take to help prevent it. But keep your body, once again, drink water as much as you can, and just have a good positive attitude. You know, even when you think you're sick or you may be a little down and out and you want to go lay down and you're
Pick it
laying
up.
in the bed, get your butt up out
That's
the
right.
bed.
Exactly. Be
Seriously,
positive.
get out,
Walk.
get those
Sure.
endorphins going, and
That's
get
right.
your body moving, because you got healthy products in your body that can you can self heal.
Yeah.
You can heal yourself.
Yeah.
If you think and tell yourself you're sick, you're gonna be sick.
Right, sure.
You say, I walk around, I'm not sick. I'm not sick. Drink that hot tea. Get that
Take care
lemon.
of yourself. Right,
I love
right.
it.
Grandma told us everything we needed to
Wow.
know.
No, and
Let's
honey,
not forget it.
and honey, ain't that right?
Exactly, literally.
Cinnamon. Oh
love
God,
it,
take
sure.
cinnamon. Oh,
Yes.
Thank you
Right.
for taking the time to be a part of our Power Pod Talks, because that's so important. And thank you.
You're welcome. It was a pleasure.